I call it a dark, malevolent god of death because relative to the razor's edge, it is unstoppable. It doesn't matter how powerful a being you are. You could dwarf
Parliamental is just right over there. You know, in down that that's the it's now.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this a brand new day. Thumbs up for that. My back cushion is, of course, slightly off because that's the way life is. It is raining pretty hard this morning. Thumbs up for that. It was gray and dim when I went for walkies yesterday, and I went for walkies early. So I took a shower last night after walkies. It was almost 1 o'clock before I got to bed because it takes 2 hours for me to take a shower from walking into the bathroom, shaving my beard and my hair, and then getting washed and all that. It takes 2 hours from walking in to walking out. So it was late and I slept, and that's good, so thumbs up. It's a day, and that's definitely a thumbs up for that. So, front loading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, if you haven't, definitely a thumbs up on that. If you could leave me a comment, that would be definitely awesome. And as well, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people that are literally beautiful and literally awesome. They help to keep me and my pets alive. I have a kitty cat and a hamster, and I'm very appreciative, and I know that they are appreciative as well. Thank you, each and every one of these people, for helping to keep us all alive and at least semi-healthy. Thumbs up and thank you. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link in the video description. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal link. And if you'd like to help me out without sending cash, there's an Amazon wishlist link in the video description as well with cat food on it. So thumbs up on that. And already, because I am active, waving my arms around in the air like I just don't care, and because we're in summer and it is warm and, well, with it raining, extremely humid, I'm already overheated. I've gone from very, very cold to very, very warm all in about that fast. This is an old shirt that was sent to me by a person who watches the video, well, watched the videos back then. They worked at some hotel, and so they sent me a shirt from their hotel, and I still have it years later. Yay! It's a good thing. I mean, they stopped watching, but thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that has ever watched and has stopped watching. I mean, goodness gracious. There's Potatotron, Made in Canada, Pandora NYC1. Just off the top of my head, these are people that I think about a lot, and I wish I could thank them again for being a part of my life, if only in text and if only for a short time. But hey, thumbs up. That's the sad and bad part. Is, people's interests in things wax and wane. You get interested in somebody, you stop being interested in somebody. That's life. But when people leave comments, and I get used to names, when interests drift and they vanish, it hurts. It's a little piece of my heart that's gone. I get to recognize names and talk to people and get to know them, and then gone. In therapy today, so that's good. Definitely a thumbs up on that, because I talked about how I got the letter from Social Security saying if I don't answer the questions quickly, they're going to take away my Social Security benefits, which would leave me, homeless and then swiftly dead afterward. I tried calling, not all day. I took the second half of the day to call. The first half of the day I was doing things and falling asleep. But every time I called, for the full day, you have two options when you call the number. They say, call here and ask for, well, what is it that they want you to do? They want you to ask for an earnings reviewer. Call the number and ask to speak to an earnings reviewer. You have two options. You can enter in the number of the person that you want to talk to specifically, or you can ask to talk to the next available representative. Two options. Okay, I've chosen to talk to to the next available operator. And it would immediately go, oh, that mailbox is full. Try again later. And then hang up. So that's special. I'm going to try filling out the paperwork, and I'm going to mail it in, I got the numbers. I'm going to get copies of all this stuff so I'm not going to answer it over the phone. Oh, great. And then tomorrow I have my med manager appointment about the Strattera. I do like some things about Strattera. I don't like other things about Strattera. The one thing I really like about Strattera is the fact that my time blindness is usually gone. Usually. It doesn't, not a guarantee. Yesterday my time blindness was barely touched for the first part of the day. So thumbs up on that. But Ritalin brought me here. Strattera brings me about here. About a third of the way that I got from Ritalin. Better to be here though and not have a stroke than here and then brain blowing out from my blood pressure going 200 over 100. So there's trade-offs. But oh boy, getting only a third out of it. If I hadn't had Ritalin, so that I didn't have Ritalin to compare it to, I'd probably be really pleased with what I'm getting out of Strattera. But unfortunately, I was given Ritalin, and it worked really well, and almost blew out my circulatory system from my blood pressure. But now I have the effect I got from Ritalin as the gold standard to apply everything else to. And nothing will ever reach it. Life is life, though. Still, as I have said, and I have to remember at times like that, yes, it sucks to have to work hard with my machete. To get, the better way to put it is, I have to work twice as hard chopping through this bamboo forest with my machete to get half as far, when I used to be able to do much better on Ritalin. And so yeah, I'm comparing it to a 6-lane highway with bulldozers, with my having to work twice as hard to get half as far with my machete. Yeah, I'm gonna be kind of upset about that, but not like I can go back to it. Life is life. So even though I thought about a lot of things last night while I was on walkies, I can't really remember any of it. The one thing I can remember, though, is in comments, I believe it was Sebastian Ferris who thought that perhaps they were, overstepping their bounds. And no problems, no issues here. Please, anytime you have any sort of statement or issue or observation, please make it. They had said, well, do you think it was your subconscious? And I have mentioned before, though, that yeah, my subconscious, and the fact that I'm doing all this stuff creatively, my subconscious is using all this as a way to deal with so many of my issues. Like my cryptid stuff is largely the search for an identity, and that's a major issue for me right now, since this year, in the last year, I have learned so much about why my brain works and why I am where I am in life, and I had no ideas before. My entire worldview has changed. I'm in a 60-year-old search for identity. So yeah, my search for identity stuff. And then there's other things that I'm dealing with and working through. I've laughed with my therapist about how, yeah, my subconscious was ahead of me on this one. Well, last night again, after thinking about that while on walkies, the one thing I can really remember, I was thinking of that comment by Sebastian Ferris and going, yeah, that's what it is. The whole Henrik and all that reaching out. And then I started thinking about Utak. And thinking about how I'd mentioned how Utak is really just bothering the King in Crimson a lot. They're not a friend, they're just interacting with them on a fair basis. Because Utak has discovered in their maturation that they are craving peer interaction. Tie that in with the craving to be part of a community by the doppelgangers. And yeah, if you take a look at my subconscious working through stuff, yeah, I went, oh, you think you're so smart, subconscious, just because you're right all the time. Yeah, I'm craving some sort of peer-to-peer interaction among those I consider my peers. So, yeah. That's what my subconscious does, and I'm quite glad, because it allows me to work through these things. So that's a good thing, definitely. Past that, though, I've got really nothing. And then looking down on my list, there is only really one thing that I want to say that I can remember, and they are about the whole inside-outside razor's edge thing, because I've gone through the whole past couple days, a quick history of the cosmology and all that of my setting. Two things that I wanted to talk about here, if I can remember what they are. Yes. Oh my gosh, my poor brain. It sucks to have to work twice as hard to get only half as far. Better than being stuck outside the forest with no movement at all, though. Where I have written down that I have said that the infinite ocean of possibility and potential is the multiverse written small within this particular universe. It has an infinite amount in relation to itself of energy to do things, and within it, like with every being, there is every possible variation of every possible being at every possible point in their every possible development. So it's the multiverse written small, but it doesn't contain everything, because there is the inside and there is the outside, and this infinite ball of potential and possibility on the inside has copies of all, as I have said, of the inside and the outside. But there's also the razor's edge. Well, some of this stuff, yes, because the energy from the inside flows through the razor's edge to down convert into a usable form of energy here on the outside. But there are still people and beings that live there. These people largely are made up of the energy from the inside. But razor's edges, and there is a razor's edge at every doorway that leads to the inside, are made when the two universes are rubbing together, and the fraying of reality punctures that hole. That static electricity, quote unquote, the static that's building up between the two of them, is creating this energy in between the two universes. It is this energy that is used to create each razor's edge. This is why the universe, in this particular case, is not infinite. There is energy loss. Energy from the inside flows to the outside. Energy from the outside flows to the inside, but there's energy lost at every single razor's edge. And this energy loss accumulates outside of those universes. It is fundamentally the same, except for the fact that it requires a catalyst and there's a discharge. It is creative energy, but it requires a destructive discharge. They are not the same energies, they are separate, and because of that, everything that is created by the energy of the razor's edge has no counterpart on the inside. The king in crimson comes from the inside. There is every possible variation of every possible king in crimson at every possible point of development. On the outside, on the razor's edge, like with Old Ray and the Speleodoncus, there's infinite copies of Old Ray. There's only one Speleodoncus. There are no copies of it. It is a creation, a powerful being formed by this razor's edge static energy. Now, as sad as that may be, what happens, of course, with Old Ray and the Speleodoncus is after Old Ray just says, I'm done with everything, heads to the inside, they both reach the ocean and they enter it and become a part of infinity. So the Speleodoncus does enter the infinite ball and become, just like Old Ray, infinite with every possible copy and every possible thing. But unless they do that, no, they're singular. There's only one kaiju. There are no others. There is no counterpart. The Apple Rock kaiju, the dark, malevolent, chained god of death and destruction, is singular. And I call it a dark, malevolent god of death because relative to the razor's edge, it is unstoppable. It doesn't matter how powerful a being you are. You could dwarf the kaiju in power on the inside, but you enter their domain, you're going to get crushed by the kaiju. This is why the kaiju does not leave the razor's edge, as well as just not being able to exist on the outside and having to exist at such a lowered stage of existence on the inside. What would be the point? So they are all powerful within the realm of this razor's edge, but their powers, of course, are limited. I would say they are a chained and fallen dark malevolent god. Yeah, they have incredible powers of persistence and destruction, but they can't create. There is no creation available to the kaiju. It can continue its own existence, and it can kill and destroy. That's it. It cannot create. It is a chained malevolent god. And as stated, as much as and powerful as this thing is, as many people as it has to eat just to keep its own existence going, even if it doubled, tripled, multiplied by 10 the number of people that it had to eat, it would still just be a fraction of 1% of everybody that's on the razor's edge. As much of a dark and malevolent god this is, it's insignificant. It is insignificant, unless, of course, you're one of the people that's, in its claws and then shoved into its mouth, chewed up and swallowed. Then it matters a whole lot. But the odds of your being, even knowing that there's a kaiju that's in existence, are small. So that's razor's edge stuff. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my brain works. Thank you very much for watching. If you are one of those people that do, excuse me, it is greatly appreciated. We have JAYY, thumbs up, and thank you very much. Good to see you in the comments. Trying again, 334, thumbs up, and I'm having a pretty good day, thank you. We have Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments, my friend. We have Mark Tomlin, thumbs up, and oh man, there's Bloodworks under the Imperial City with vampires? I'm gonna have to check that out. We have Mark Sexton, thumbs up, and well, I mean, they were rude, but they weren't abusive, and so, yeah. We have Ben B, greatly appreciated. Good to see you in the comments. There is hippie_Daniel, bruh, thumbs up and thank you. Lucas, greatly appreciated. And yeah, I've talked with my hands my whole life. Part of it is stimming. That's cool. We have Sebastian Ferris. You do not overstep boundaries. You are fine. There is Marlon Wolfgang, thumbs up and thank you. And yeah, my housemates are actually in their late 20s by now. They are a youngish couple. So there is Captain AOM, ARU, VOM, EXE, KUTIV, KOMITE. I can't pronounce that, but thank you very, very much. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. And yes, hammies are awesome and bloody wonderful creatures. Thumbs up and thank you. 12 people that left me comments, or 11? No, that's 12. Thumbs up. 12 people that left me comments in the past 24 hours to get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a short time, and if only in text. Greatly appreciated. And thank you for having watched this far. If you watched this far, that is greatly appreciated as well. So, son of a gun, yeah, I got therapy. I gotta make that phone call. I gotta get this stuff done. I don't want to die. That would be bad. So, I've got executive dysfunction. I have a lot of issues. I think I'm agoraphobic, to be honest. So I've got a lot of stuff that I've got to work through, and hopefully I can get through it to get the things done that I need to get done. And, of course, with the Cafete bug raging, Hokey SMOKES, please take the appropriate precautions for your area. Be smart. Don't throw your body onto the corpse pile before you have to throw your body onto the corpse pile. Hokey SMOKES. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is, my friend, a very good thing.